Today's Young Carers Awareness Day. We asked people to come to the Carers Centre in Sunderland, and this is what they had to say.
I think it's really important, especially for those young carers that may have received a diagnosis for a parent or for parents themselves that have received a diagnosis for their child. It's just signposting people to the correct places and making sure they've got that support rather than feeling they're alone in the community.
Really, working with the numbers they are here, they aren't all the young carers in Sunderland. So if there was a wider communication process took place in schools, then perhaps it might reach more kids who could benefit from being involved. I think hearing the testimony of some of the young kids and also their notes up on the board, it's very important indeed for all adults in the Sunderland area to be aware of what's happening here.
I think that it is important to get the message across to young carers, because I don't think a lot of people realise that they are young carers for siblings or parents or other family members.
I think the Young Carers Awareness Day is fantastic to get everybody aware of the role that young carers play. Young carers don't get appreciated for what they do, and that has a huge burden on them, both health-wise and obviously as far as the social life is concerned as well. And I think it's very important that everybody is aware of the extra responsibility that they have and make allowances for that and be a little bit more flexible.
Today is very important to raise awareness for young carers, because so many are not heard, some people are not seen, and so raising awareness, especially in the schools, is very, very important, because teachers, if they're aware that a pupil is behaving in a strange way, they kind of need to know what's behind the behaviour rather than judging them or thinking they're disruptive. So it's just raising awareness and allowing people to come and visit and understand what it's like to be a young carer.
In a place like Sunderland, I think, with all the problems it's got, and especially on the back of 10 years of austerity and the effects that's having on the population, it's obviously going to impact on families, and it's going to impact on carers within families. So a resource like the Carers Centre is absolutely vital, and I think we're lucky to have it, and we need to get behind it and use it.
I think it's really important days like today, because it raises awareness for young carers and lets people who maybe don't know much about young carers get a bit of an understanding. I think there's brilliant resources here. From speaking to some of the staff, it sounds like you do some really good trips out for young carers. I think it's excellent.
The Sunderland Carers Centre fulfils a very important role for young carers. As my role as board member, I do understand what goes on in the background and the support that's given to the carers and also businesses, health, social care, just to get the patients and carers support that they need.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic place for young carers to be able to come to and get that support that they really do need. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's got a lovely feel in the building. Everybody seems really approachable. Everybody's got a lovely smiley face, and I think it appears to be a very nurturing environment, and I think that's exactly what young carers need.
Yeah, definitely lovely vibe. I think if I was a young carer, I would definitely want to be somewhere like this. It's lovely.
I think it's really important that all the agencies working with young people are aware of the support available for young carers, and really to spread the word to teachers and other members of the public.
Because people who are carers very often don't recognise it, and there's evidence on the walls here today amongst young carers that they didn't know that they were young carers. Their family circumstances have always been like that for them, and they don't realise it's different from anyone else. But there is an awful lot of stress for young carers if they're trying to balance family responsibilities with their responsibilities for schoolwork, etc. So it is something that needs to be recognised by schools. It's very important.
I think awareness is the key, and that help going into schools, education, and the clubs that young carers and young people access. So really spreading the word and that support that goes into schools and those other education areas.
I think young carers help like disabled people and who don't know what to do.
I think a young carers is when I'm caring about someone and someone else in the family.
Because like if they have something wrong with like their sister or brother, I could ask them if you want, I'll like help you with like your family.
I think Young Carers Awareness Day is very important because young carers as a whole should be spread across the country and more people should know about it if they ever need the support and the help.
I pledge to support young carers.
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 I pledge to support the Young Carers programme.
I pledge to support young carers.
I'm Michelle and I pledge to support young carers.
I pledge to support young carers.
I pledge to support young carers.
We pledge to support young carers. Woo!